A two-sample t-test allows us to determine whether there is a statistically significant difference in means between two groups. The two groups are identified by a categorical predictor variable. The response variable is quantitative and most often continuous. For this type of t-test, the two groups must be independent of each other. That means that responses from individuals in one group do not affect responses from individuals in the other group. The course website contains more detailed information about independence in the two-sample t-test. Sometimes bees rob flowers of their nectar by piercing the flower from the outside to obtain nectar, rather than by entering the flower and picking up pollen, which then gets transferred to other plants. This means that the plant does not obtain the benefit of pollination, but the bee does obtain nectar. Pierced flowers may suffer other consequences, with one potentially being a shorter lifespan of the flower. Thus, we are interested in whether there is a difference in average lifespan of flowers pierced by bees as opposed to those not pierced by bees. Before beginning, we must define an alternative and a null hypothesis. The null hypothesis should always be that the two groups are the same. Since we expect flower piercing to negatively affect flower lifespan, we'll state this in the alternative hypothesis. If we did not have an idea of which flower group would have a longer lifespan, we could still test for differences, but instead would have a null hypothesis indicating that there should be no difference in lifespan by group, and an alternative that there is a difference in lifespan by group. In the case that you have a directed alternative hypothesis, that is called a one-sided test, and it will be associated with a one-tailed p-value. When you are just looking to see if there is a difference and do not specify which group's mean will be higher, that is called a two-sided test and will be associated with a two-tailed p-value. Not all tests have one-sided and two-sided options, but t-tests do.